So here we are, just a quick look at our 2002 PT Cruiser. We are excited. We have found another one. Again, if you watch my channel or know me, the PT Cruiser is a vehicle I've really kind of warmed up to pretty much since I first derbied. Second year I derbied, my parents gave me one and I thought it was tough. First two derby PT Cruisers I had, I kind of screwed up either the car build or I just kind of had some bad luck and screwed up in a run. So this one we are excited about, 2002, and we think she's going to be tough. Just a quick look under the hood. It's already missing some parts. The Cadillac converter is not on it, but as it so happens, I just took a 2002 Cadillac converter off a PT Cruiser and I still have it. So I'll just bolt that on there so it's not so kind of rough and loud. And then the air box here was taken off. I just put my little metal frame on there to keep things from getting in. So let's start stripping her down and get to it. Just a little update as we've been tinkering a little bit here and got quite a bit of the cosmetic stuff off. First up front, we got a little bit of excess plastic just kind of cut off so it's under the fender and out of the way. Up front, we unbolted the stock PT Cruiser bumper, and then there is the, I believe it has 7 or 8 runs on it now, Caravan bumper. I actually just ran it on my Cobalt, actually cut off behind where I had welded the plates that were on the Cobalt, as that was the easiest way to do it. And I'll actually kind of beat those flat and then should be able to get a pretty good weld on those. Again, smaller frame rails on the Cruiser, as you can see, but with that Caravan bumper in the stock class, it'll at least be fairly hard up front. Nothing in the motor yet. Got different things I got to do. I'll pull the battery out. Again, that battery box that it sets on, big flat thing, take that out. And I'll actually hit this shifter, which is right, can't see right now, but it's right under here, right under that box, the shifter for the tranny. I'm gonna hit it with some of my break loose spray that I have here, a couple different ones there, but just kind of hit it with that because it's a little bit kind of sticks as it goes forward and back. But then inside you can see our collection pile has grown. Again, all cosmetic stuff. I will say, in my opinion, of all the cars I've stripped, the Cruiser, especially in the doors, is one of the easiest ones. Just different Phillips screws as well as some bolts, and then just kind of pop it out and then up and out, unhook the little arm here that goes to the door handle, or the door, yeah, to pull the handle, I should say, to open the door. But in particular, the windows, they just have 2 bolts in all 4, even the back. This one, you don't even have to lower it down. They've already got the holes right here, so just pull the plastic down, unbolt them. And then I take this side piece out so the window just poop, right up and out, both front and back. So we'll take the mirrors out, got the back plastic started and into the roof. So she's coming along. Again, a lot of space in the back area, but not a big trunk area, but boy, is she hard in the back. So coming along. And we took her out and got her back in the garage. You can see the windows are now out, both the back and the front. And again, dare I say, including the back little side windows, unbolted on the inside, and they slid right out too. She has been coming along, knock on wood, without any issues. So what we're up to now, I have her up on the ramps here because I'm actually going to put the Cadillac converter back on straight off the motor, bolt it back in there, at least just one of the bolts. I don't have to tighten it super tight, as this one has nothing on it. They unbolted it from there and took the Cadillac converter off. So I just happen to still have mine from my 02 I ran early in the year, final time. So we're going to put that on, and then a little bit of cosmetics left. The lights, they're actually so rusted out, the bolts, I'm probably gonna have to just cut through them and ruin the lights, but that's fine, not a big deal. Then we have the tranny kind of cooling area. We'll loop that. I'm gonna loosen the core support up top there, just some 10mm bolts, so I can get the radiator out, and I'll actually unhook it, and I'm gonna pull that as well as the fan, as we are gonna loop the lines just like we did for not only our last car I ran, the Cobalt, but also the PT Cruisers. That really worked great, even though it's got a fresh radiator, and I'm going to put the Caravan bumper on it. It just worked great, so why not? And then under the battery, again, I'm going to pull out that battery kind of box that it sets on. Hit the, as I mentioned, the transmission cable there with a little bit of spray to hopefully loosen it up some. And I didn't mention, this car only starts in neutral, which not a big deal. I mean, it starts every time, but is something a little odd. I might message a couple guys, see if there's anything to be alarmed with or anything I can do to not have that get worse. But as long as it starts, not a big deal to me. So a little bit of cosmetics. And then again, here we have right under here is, you can kind of see it, there it is, the coolant temp sensor. We'll just unplug that as I have mine. I kept and just zip tied here to put a dummy on there. Probably got out this guy so that it's not open and closing, but rather just kind of open the whole time and cycling, as I think that's the best way to go about it too. So coming along, just a couple days away, but we got pretty much all the cosmetic stuff. Let's get the front shaped up. Showing here the core support out, and the headlights are still on. Those things are a pain because they're so rusted. I'm about to just rip them off completely. But got the loop going there. Again, all I did with the radiator hose that came out of here and went into the bottom of the radiator is I just turned it around, turned the whole hose around so it was coming up, and then that hose coming down works well enough. And then again, just my centerpiece there. Get that piece, $20 off Amazon. HC's the company that I have here. High pressure clamps on each side. I haven't fastened in yet, but that way it's venting out the pressure. So only other thing I'll do is, again, I'm going to leave that loop, leave this core off. We'll put our bumper up front, but took off the flat box. I think I took it outside, it's not here, but underneath it is the actual mount. And again, you don't technically have to take that off, but I absolutely would encourage it. It's got 2 bolts on each side, a little tricky to get into, but not when you pull the core out, because I've had a cruiser get hit a little bit in the front corner and it pinned into my shifter to where I was stuck in drive and kind of wasted a good run in a good derby car, really. So do that, and we'll clean up the wiring a little bit, spray foam around the sparter whenever I'm all done, just to kind of protect that, in particular wiring. But yeah, she looks a little bit more bare up front here. So moving along here, we got our lines looped, again, just a small piece, and then high pressure clamps. I put 2 on this side because this one, I didn't feel like it was fully grabbing all the way, and I had this one just sitting beside it. So piece inside connects them, and again, they're looped. I'll kind of secure it off to the side there so it's kind of pulled back as far as possible. And then we just did inside the car, I'm just short a bolt. Again, I love using the existing kind of seat mount bolts when you can. These ones back here in the Cruiser are elevated, but up here I have my one going down in there, got it snug, and then I just drilled 2 holes out here. I'll go down through with my bolt and my washer. I just don't have bolts quite, I either have bolts too long, which are annoying because then you have to unscrew it so much and it's not needed, or just a little short. So I'm going to go and get a pair of in-between bolts for that. And battery box is good to go. I wanted to show, as I had this guy out, in case you're interested in kind of final things here that I'm going to do. But here we have, again, the coolant temp sensor. This one I actually kept out of 07. I unscrewed the one that was in there, and it is now sitting right here. The plug, again, was down here. I just pulled it up through here, and then I taped it, and I'll put a zip tie around it too, just so it's secure there. And again, that's reading the air now. Some people say it doesn't do much. I think that's absolutely what you have to do, so your motor, especially running on the stock computer, doesn't get too hot, that it's screaming. It doesn't like that, and it starts shutting stuff down. But I wanted to also show, I do this with a Cruiser, one, because it's just 2 10mm bolts right here, very simple. But here's this guy, and again, as it gets hot, you know, it opens and it cycles, you know, the coolant from the motor that's hot out into the radiator, and it funnels from the radiator in. That's the whole purpose of it. Well, I gut it whenever I have it looped in the Cruiser, because it's so, you don't have to, but because it's so simple to get to, so that way it's constantly looping. And not only is it constantly looping, but it's also, I can make sure I can get as much, in my case, water as well as some fabric softener into the motor as well as the lines as possible. As if you have that in there, you know, it's not going to open until it gets hot. So you fill it up. Well, you know, there should be coolant or water in the motor, but I've had it to where I don't think that always works. So that's what I like to do with the Cruiser, and it's so simple right there. Otherwise, just took off kind of the AC pump lines there. They're real easy to get to. Up here, again, took out that big guy right there. I was fortunate 3 of the 4 bolts were super clean. The bottom right one was tough to get into in the back, but again, with the core out, it's real easy to get to. So I'll kind of clean up and secure the battery lines and those excess lines, and I'll run my battery lines in. I'll actually, for this one, cut the lines here. I'll probably just bolt in with my U-bolt the negative, but because this one's multiple separate, I'll probably cut these and then splice in with my U-bolt and my battery lines into the car. I'd love to pull this guy. It's just not an easy thing to do as it runs up and into the driver's door. You have to kind of move and do a number of things. I could do, and I might do this if I have some extra time, but I'm taking the kids to do something tomorrow, which is the night before the Derby. So I got to finish like my bumper up here. That's left to do. I'll kind of beat flat those plates so they fit nice up against there. And then I'll weld that here this evening. And I'll clean up my wire, spray foam, that stuff. So I probably won't have time, but I could do is like I did in my car last year. I just cut the wires, pulled them through and inside right against the motor, and then I just spliced them back together good, and then taped them with electrical tape, and it worked great. So might do that, but for this run probably won't. So some spray foam on top of that, but that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show that. And then in the car, only thing really left to do, I have my rear bar here for not only safety but also stability, taking shots on the side in there ready to go. I grinded down both the end of the bar as well as where I'm gonna go through the metal of the PT Cruiser. So I'll weld that, and then we'll just there's 2 grounds, one on each side there. I'll drill just a small hole here, and I'll put those in there and pull all the wires forward. I just like to do that because I'm running stock wiring. I like to keep whatever wires are grounded just kind of in case. Stock Derby tank, again, is all the way in here. And while the one strap rotted out, the other one seems solid. I might drill up through the bottom and run just a ratchet strap around there just to be safe where the other strap should be. But I might not get to that. We'll see. Roof sign up top, and that is it. So just kind of got to clean up some stuff, clean up front. Again, I mentioned, I don't think I showed, got the muffler, or the, in particular, catalytic converter off of the motor off of my other PT Cruiser in. So yeah, final kind of stretches here, just some cleaning up. Again, the headlights are still on. I'll rip those out here now. But she's coming together, hoping she's tough, hoping to have some fun. Again, these Cruisers are hard in the back. Front, the wheels aren't too bad. They are steel, these older Cruisers, the spindle and all that. So hoping for some fun. You never really know. But 2002 PT Cruiser, no paint job for this one. We just got to cut out the hood hole, and that will be it. Hoping for some fun.